Right in, right? Go ahead and take a seat for me. You mind if we close this in a second? Fisher Taylor, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm Detective Baker. I'm with Titusville Police Department. Mm-hmm. I kind of want to come down here to let you know what your charges are, everything like that. Okay. I'm sure you're kind of confused as to what's going on because, from my understanding, it was a couple-month process. For me to explain everything to you, have you read your rights ever in your life?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I haven't read my rights yet.
Okay. Well, if you let me, I'll read you your rights today, and then we'll go into what your charges are. I'll try to explain them to the best of your ability, so that way we can kind of understand what's going on. Okay.
Absolutely.
Sound good? You can take your mask off in here if you want. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever's more comfortable for you. Yeah. I understand you're in a very uncomfortable situation, and that's why I want to explain everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta do your thing, man. I really, I want to know what's up and what's going on.
Okay. Well, I'll try to explain it. I seriously would like to explain it to you. Yeah. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before I ask you any questions, and I have him with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to the lawyer. Do you understand each of those rights?
Yeah.
So you can answer any questions, and then if you don't like the question, you can say, you know what, I don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah. So good. Until you start asking me questions, I'm more curious about what's going on, and then I'll pick and choose what answers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which ones I answer.
Okay, that's fine. So the reason you're here is for a violation of Florida State Statute 89303-1A, and that is the Florida wiretapping law. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's illegally recording a party without their consent or knowledge. Right. Okay, so you have 2 YouTube channels, from my understanding, correct? You have the Armed Fisherman is yours, and then you have the Solo Yacker.
Correct.
Okay, and these are you do. I don't know what to call it. It's First Amendment and Second Amendment auditing. Is that correct?
It's called fishing.
Fishing. Okay.
I don't do audits because audits allow me to go into buildings, into publicly accessible spots. So I'm definitely not an auditor. I'm a fisherman. My channel started out as fishing, and it's always remained fishing. It's just now I carry a gun, and the only reason I carry a camera is because there's cities that do not have body cams. So when I run across that, it's my word against their word. Judges usually side with their word. So I carry a camera to protect myself from people that don't have video cameras that could lie about what my account does. I always say, if you watch all my videos, I'm not an auditor. I'm a fisherman.
I'm sorry, I haven't watched all your videos. I've watched.
There's a lot of them.
There's like 100.
There's more than that, depending on what channel you're looking at. But anyway, I'm just saying.
And unrelated to this, what made you start doing this? Like what?
I almost got robbed.
You almost got robbed by the police?
No, I almost got robbed under a bridge fishing.
Oh wow, okay.
2:33 in the morning at night. I've said this numerous times on my videos, how and why this happened. My car was in my gun. I was fishing late at night. 2 guys are up on the top of the bridge. They see me. They sneak down on me. The only thing I could do was swing my fishing pole. I ran. I got out of it. The next day, put it on my side and never left. Now it's just upgraded. I mean, I've upgraded to different guns, different knowledge of law, things of that nature. Absolutely.
Okay.
Nothing's changed though. The same principles are still the foundation of it is fishing.
I understand. So I understand that you had an altercation with Titusville Police Department. I wasn't a part of that altercation, but you had it with Lieutenant Little, Sergeant Anderson, and Chief John Lau.
Oh, yeah.
When you were, I guess you were fishing, but you had your AR-15 with you and you were trespassing from the county park. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because I think this is a lot of retaliatory towards me.
This is?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I didn't deal with it. I didn't deal with you then. I didn't even know who you were until this kind of investigation started happening. So you made a couple of phone calls to a bunch of various different people. I think you called. I want to say you called the police department a couple of times because we have a couple transfer calls in from your name.
Yeah.
And then you called Jeff Davis. Do you know who Jeff Davis is?
Yeah, Parks and Recreation, head of Parks and Recreation for the Titusville Titusville area or whatever.
Do you know how many times you called him? Just one time, 2 times?
Probably maybe spoke to him?
Yeah, spoke to him. Once. That's it.
To my knowledge, it was only one time. I called that when all this transpired from, we can go back to 2 days prior to my incident. There another gentleman was trespassed, and we were trying to release.
Angel Diaz?
Yeah.
Or Andrew. I'm sorry, Andrew Diaz.
Yeah. The biggest issue, I mean, if you really want to look into a crime, you should start looking into your, within your department right there, because they violated state law. And that's why I did what I did. That's why I turned in my friggin', I was about to go through a pro se lawsuit up until I got arrested down in Miami.
Is that why you called Jeff Davis to try to see what was going on?
No,
with the,
I called the police department and I asked, how did this happen? How does somebody, who authorized us to be trespassed? And I told them the same thing about, hey, you can't do this. This is the law. And then they went through and they're like, oh, we got it from the board, or the whatever board or whatever.
Board of County Commissioners.
Yeah, or something
like
to that effect. Okay. And I'm like, but who? And they were like, Jeff Davis, the head of it, gave us permission.
Okay.
And then even in the videos, in Andrew Diaz's video, they even clearly state that they had permission.
Okay, now, so Jeff Davis is the one who gave permission for us to trespass.
Correct.
And that's usually the way it works.
He said he could trespass anybody, and that's not how the law is written.
Well, once again, I'm not in on the trespassing issue.
I'm looking at the badge, and I can just say that's not the law, and they violated that law.
Well, and here's the deal, right? I'm a detective. I usually deal with felony crimes, so I don't really know that much about trespassing. For me to have a adequate and intelligent conversation with you about that, I would have to do more research on my trespassing laws, because I don't know all of them.
Yeah,
okay.
Until I've committed a crime, you can't trespass me for doing anything. And then under the law with a firearm, you can't create 790.33 of the Florida statute states that you cannot create gun laws in any county, city, anything that's owned by the city, county, state. Cannot be changed. You cannot make gun laws. Only legislation can. So they trespassed us, A, for having a gun, and B, because they got permission to trespass anybody. That's what the words verbatim were. That's what they were said.
Well, what was your conversation with Jeff Davis that you had? What did he say when you brought all this to his
That's on the video. You'd have to refer back to that.
Okay, and that's the Jeff Davis live video and the somebody live video. Those two videos on your
right. The first one, all it was is a carbon copy of the audio.
And it was just your conversation with him where you're like, why are we... Because I watched a little bit of it, and it's, why are we getting trespassed? What's going on?
Why did this happen?
During that conversation that you had with him, did you ever tell him you were recording him?
I don't recall. Once again, I had to set up a camera. The camera was set up in front of me, and it was running. Okay.
Well, I listened to the audio. You never tell him you're recording him.
Right.
You never gain his consent or knowledge to record him.
Okay.
You never gain his consent or knowledge to post. Am I correct on this? Did he give you a written letter?
No, never written letter. I was just curious. There's I thought I don't even think. Actually, I'm going to refer back to my lawyer on that one. I'm not going to answer that.
That's fine. I want you to understand, right? You're not a criminal. You're not a crazy dude, right? But what you did is against Florida state law. It's against 893. I believe I'm quoting the correct statute. I hope I'm not, misquoting. I get my numbers mixed up sometimes. But it's a Florida wiretapping law. Right. It says that you cannot intercept oral communication without the other party's knowledge, right? So if we are having a private conversation, it's different when you're talking to a cop, and maybe that's what you were thinking, right? Because you don't have an expectation of privacy with me. That's the way the courts have ruled. Right? But with if I was just a regular citizen and we have this door closed and I don't tell you, and I have a recorder in my pocket or something, and I don't tell you, and then I post that's a crime. That's a felony. Okay? So that's what you're charged with today.
Okay.
Is that one count of that felony. Now, depending upon, everything else, there might be more that comes down the line, because every time you've posted that video, so the 2 videos that are posted, that's technically a felony as well. Okay? Per the statute. Okay? I just want you to understand that. Okay. So I don't have any problem with you doing your fishing, or whatever it's categorized as. I really don't, and I didn't know you until today. But I do want to inform you that is a crime. It is a felony. Okay? So we can't be doing that. Okay. All right. So when in the future, once this is all cleared up and whatever, if you continue doing this, just make sure if you are going to record anybody, you need to start off the conversation with, you are being recorded.
Okay.
Just like the 911 lines, when anybody calls, the first thing it says, recorded line, 911, go ahead. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you have any other questions or anything like that for me? Do you kind of know the process from here, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm going to go to court.
Yep, you're going to go to first appearance court. The judge there is going to, you go to first appearance at 115. Now, you have a $2,000 bond, so you have to pay 20% of that.
I bond should have been posted friggin' almost at friggin' 10 o'clock. There's like 10 o'clock at night last night.
Somebody just failed to do so? Or
no, they paid it. It's paid. I'm just waiting to get out of here.
Oh, you're waiting on your bond from 10 o'clock last night? Well, I don't know why they're doing that, but
is it possible for you to call my wife so I can, because I haven't been able to have access to a phone?
Well, I can't call her here. They don't let me make phone calls. But I will call her outside. I'll explain to her that I spoke with you and all that stuff.
And then just have her,
What's her name?
Shauna. And then explain to her I need her to speak to Eric Friday once again, and I need to know, to ask him why I'm not bonded out.
Is Eric Friday a name?
Yeah, it's his first name. First and last name.
Okay.
She knows who Eric Friday is.
I just didn't know if you meant speak with Eric on Friday.
No, Eric Friday.
What's her phone number?
38.
Shauna, 386. Eric Friday and get your bond posted.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will let her know it's a $2,000 bond, so you have to pay 20% of that.
What are the penalties?
For a third-degree felony?
Yeah.
Third-degree felony can carry a maximum, I believe it's 3 or 5 years prison maximum, or a $5,000 fine. Now, this is something that you're probably going to want to talk with the state with and talk with your defense attorney and everything like that and kind of get legal guidance as to penalties, what's going to happen. From my understanding, you don't have a criminal history. You don't have anything like that as far as, you have maybe a resisting or a trespassing from various different counties, but nothing, you've never been prosecuted, you've never been in a jail or anything like that, right?
I've been to jail, but a lot of the stuff that I've ever been to jail for was,
dismissed or dropped or something.
Through all of it. I think I've been arrested 4 or 5 times. One was an undersized grouper. I got caught with weed back in,
when weed was still legal.
It was still legal, but I'm just saying it was probably like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like nowadays,
it's like from like 7 years to now. I've for the last 10 years I've been good, other than the undersized grouper I caught.
Well, listen, I really hope that this is a very small bump in the road, and I hope everything gets cleared up. But that's why I came down here, to inform you. Hey, this is what we got going on. This is why it is. Do you understand why you're being charged with this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess I do now. When I'm sitting there asking questions about, I'm sitting on a bridge after an accident, and they're like, your license suspended. I'm like, no. I'm like, we just got our insurance.
Did you get in a car accident down there? Is that how you got?
That's how I bumped into a lady. We shared information. She still wanted to talk to cops, and I'm like, yeah, no problem. I gave her all, she had a little scratch about that big on her car. And then I find out I have a warrant, and the whole time I'm like, why is this guy calling for backup up for Ben? And then that's when things started going off, and then they do the whole surround thing, and I'm just like, all right, what happened? And then it took me 2 hours to figure out.
Are you still living in Port St. Lucie?
Yeah.
Because we tried to have that county just as soon as we had the warrant entered, just go to your house, knock on your door, hey sir, can you come out and take you into custody there as fast as possible? But apparently you weren't home.
2 days. The warrant had been active for 2 days.
Yes.
And I'm home until 3 or 4 in the afternoon before I go to work every day. Nobody showed up to my house.
They told me they did, so that's why. But do you have any other questions? Is there anything I can answer for you? Because I know this is obviously confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing as all can be.
Well, hopefully your lawyer can explain it to you more. He'll be able to get a copy of the full report, all sworn video, all cameras, everything like that. He'll be able to get a copy of our conversation. Okay, I don't want to ask you anything more incriminating because you have requested for a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there is anything else, you can have your lawyer reach out to me afterwards. Okay, do you understand all that?
Yeah.
All right, sir. I appreciate you being very cordial and respectful with me. I really do.
Very cordial and respectful until somebody turns, and you can be a dick, I can be a dick. You want to be cool, I can be cool. It's in two-way straight for everybody, and I think a lot of law enforcement has lost that
I completely agree with you.
We're all a bunch of human beings, and you have a hard job, but I have a hard job too.
Yep.
I got to deal with it.
I completely agree with you, sir. All right, I appreciate it, sir.
I don't know if I'm supposed to get up.
Yeah, you're good. Come right here.
We haven't been in, so when I've been here.